When Genie was first found, he was nothing more than a frightened shadow on a busy street. He had no home, no one to turn to, and worst of all, no one who cared enough to stop for him. People passed him by with cold indifference, some even turning away in disgust. But he didn't lash out. He simply curled into himself, trying to disappear, hoping the world would stop noticing him. One of his eyes was badly injured, swollen and clouded, likely beyond saving. His fur was dirty, his body frail from hunger, and his spirit broken. He was panicked, shy, and visibly in pain. It was as if he had already accepted that this was all his life would ever be, lonely, unloved, and invisible. But that all changed the day a gentle hand reached out for him. A kind-hearted rescuer knelt beside him, whispering softly, "It's okay, sweetheart. You're safe now." For the first time in what must have felt like forever, someone saw him. Not the injury, not the weakness, but the beautiful, scared soul underneath. They named him Jinyi, a name that would come to symbolize his quiet courage and the beauty that could still be found in a world that had treated him so cruelly. At the vet, the truth was confirmed. The damage to his eye was irreversible. It had to be removed to prevent further infection and pain. The surgery was delicate and Jinyi was weak, but he made it through, because someone believed he deserved the chance. His recovery was slow but filled with love. He was given warm blankets, soft food, and a safe, quiet space to rest. The team that cared for him treated him not just like another rescued animal, but like family. "He's such a gentle boy," one of the caregivers whispered as she cradled him after surgery. "Even after everything, he still wants to trust." At first, Jinyi flinched at every touch, every sound. But the warmth and patience around him began to work magic on his little heart. He started to accept the gentle strokes on his back, the soft voice that called his name each morning, the quiet presence of someone just sitting beside him, letting him know he wasn't alone. And slowly, Jinyi began to bloom. His body, once so weak, grew stronger. His fur became soft and full again. The wound where his eye had been healed, and though he had to learn to navigate the world differently, he never let that slow him down. More importantly, Jinyi began to show his heart. He started to purr when someone entered the room. He would rub his face against the hand that fed him, blinking his one bright eye with affection and gratitude. He no longer hid in corners. Instead, he would curl up in the warmest spot in the room, content, knowing he was safe. "Oh, sweet Jinyi," a volunteer said one day as he stretched out on a sunny windowsill. "You see the world with just one eye, but you see love more clearly than most ever will." The team who cared for him gave him everything he needed. Not just to survive, but to thrive. They gave him a soft bed, nutritious food, toys, companionship, and most of all, unconditional love. Their support helped him not only heal from his physical pain, but also rebuild the trust he had lost in people. 6 months after the day he was rescued from the street, Jinyi was transformed. He was still the same quiet soul, but now his eyes, sparkled with life. He was no longer the invisible cat no one wanted. He had become a symbol of resilience, of what love and kindness can do for a life once cast aside. Jinyi is now ready for the next chapter of his journey, a forever home where he will be cherished just as he is, where his one eye won't make him less, but more, where someone will look into his beautiful face and see not what's missing, but what remains, a heart full of love and a spirit that refused to give up. His story is a powerful reminder that beauty is not in perfection, it is in perseverance. It is in scars that speak of survival. It is in the quiet bravery of animals like Jinyi, who continue to love even after being abandoned. Every rescue matters. Every act of kindness has the power to change a life. And every animal, no matter how broken they may seem, deserves a chance to be loved. If Jinyi's story touched your heart, please share it. Let his journey inspire others to open their hearts, to adopt not just the perfect animals, but the ones who need us the most. the ones who may have one eye or three legs or emotional wounds, but who, when given love, give it back tenfold. Because sometimes the ones who've seen the worst of the world are the ones who end up bringing the most light into it. Let's continue to rescue, to heal, to love, and to believe that every life is worth saving. There are moments when the world seems to pause, holding its breath as a life hangs in the balance. That moment came on a noisy afternoon along the never-sleeping Andromeda Avenue. The honking cars, hurried footsteps, and relentless city chaos faded into the background as a fragile soul cried out for help. A tiny kitten, no more than 2 months old, had been struck by a car. The impact was brutal. Its little body flung through the air before crashing down onto the unforgiving pavement. "There is no end," the scene seemed to scream as passers-by gasped in horror. Its tiny frame trembled in pain, 2 paws shattered, a lung dangerously injured, and yet its soft cries continued. It hadn't given up. Thankfully, its cry didn't go unheard. A small group of compassionate rescuers rushed to the scene. Their hearts raced, not from fear, but from urgency. One bent down and whispered softly, "We're on our way, little one. Just hold on." The kitten, frightened and in agony, hissed and squirmed, unsure if these hands meant help or more hurt. But these hands, gentle, patient, were different. They didn't force, they comforted. Slowly they wrapped the kitten in a warm cloth and held it close, protecting it from the chaos of the street that had nearly ended its life. Inside the car, on the way to the veterinary hospital, the kitten lay still. Its breath was shallow, but its eyes, oh, those wide, confused eyes, began to soften, as if it understood somehow that this time it wasn't alone. At the clinic, the news was grim. The X-rays revealed broken bones in both front paws and a severe injury to one of the lungs. "It's going to be a long road," the vet said, "but we will fight with him," and fight they did. The kitten was stabilised, given pain relief, and prepped for the complex orthopaedic surgeries ahead. The medical team worked tirelessly, and the rescuers never left his side. They named him Leo, a name that meant lion, for his courage and roar of survival. Days passed. Each morning brought cautious hope. Leo's appetite slowly returned. He began responding to gentle strokes and whispered encouragement. His breathing steadied. And then came the moment they all prayed for, the day of his final surgery to repair the shattered limbs. Hours felt like lifetimes. But then, the vet walked into the waiting room, her face breaking into a tired but joyful smile. It was a success. He's awake, and he's going to be okay. Tears flowed freely. For a life so tiny, Leo had stirred something massive. Compassion, community, and connection. Recovery wasn't easy. There were long nights filled with restlessness, days when pain made progress seem impossible. But Leo, the little lion-hearted kitten, never stopped trying. And the rescuers, now his devoted family, never stopped loving. Every time he wobbled, they cheered him on. Every time he took a step, they cried. His first purr after surgery melted every heart in the room. "You're safe now," one of the caregivers whispered as Leo curled up in her lap, finally sleeping peacefully for the first time in days. "We've got you." With every passing week, Leo grew stronger. The bandages came off, the wounds healed, and the once fragile body filled out with healthy weight. His fur, once matted and dusty, became soft and shiny. But more than his body, his spirit healed too. He began to play, to explore, to trust. When the sunlight hit the floor, he would chase it with giddy hops. When his rescuers walked into the room, he would meow with joy and run toward them, not away. Leo wasn't just recovering physically, he was rediscovering happiness, learning what it felt like to be loved without condition. "I can't believe this is the same kitten," one rescuer said, smiling as Leo rolled onto his back, asking for belly rubs. "He's a miracle." Today, Leo is still on his journey, but what a journey it has been. His paws have carried him through pain, through struggle, through heartbreak, but also through healing, hope, and home. He lives in a sanctuary filled with warmth, love, and toys. He knows what it's like to be cherished, and in his gentle purrs you can hear his gratitude. Leo's story reminds us all of something deeply important. that every life matters, that behind every cry for help is a heart that still believes in love, if only someone would show it. That when we choose kindness, when we stop, reach out and say, "You matter," we change lives. Let Leo's journey inspire us. There are so many more Leos out there, lost, hurt, frightened, waiting for someone to care. Let us be that someone. Let us be the light in their darkness. Please, if Leo's story touched your heart, share it. Talk about it. Let the world know that miracles happen when compassion leads the way. Every view, every like, every comment and every share helps support rescue efforts and bring attention to animals in need. Thank you for believing in second chances. Thank you for supporting love without limits. We'll see you in the next story of hope.